Hey, what's up guys, Joker here. I finished the first tier of the new Pandemonium raid. It's spelled wrong, but it is called Pandemonium. And it has those weird letters and stuff like that, so it's like whatever. Yeah, so I'm just gonna talk about some non-spoiler things to start, and like I've done in other videos, I'll clearly say spoilers or stuff like that. I don't know if it's really a thing, but I'm just gonna be safe. So non-spoilers. The story I think that they're telling now. I've not really paid attention to most of the raid stories. It's kind of interesting, you know. It's there, there. It's a thing to keep you interested. If you want to skip it, I don't think you're really missing much. Something at the very end of the entire, first tier story is kind of like an interesting thing, but 99% of it is kind of just building like why you're doing this. So I know a lot of people probably skip it. I skipped basically all of them because I remember I was the only one I did was the Crystal Tower because I knew it was important for Endwalker. So I like was watching most of it, but after a little bit, I just started skipping because it was so long. And the Goblin one in Alexander, I watched some of it. It's like I don't. The only ones that were interesting were the first two, the Crystal Tower and Binding Coals of Muhammad, in my opinion. But yeah, generally, I think the second and fourth fight are probably going to be the most trouble. You're not going to get too much trouble. These are normal raids. They're not going to be that bad. You maybe wipe once or twice. Once probably because you know you don't know the mechan. Everyone doesn't know the mechanics, and then maybe twice because a healer died or something like that. Um, but generally, I don't think people are going to struggle. The first fight is super easy. The telegraphs are very, very simple. It's a pretty basic fight. The third one was also not that bad, but that was mostly because the first time we did it, we accidentally did a mechanic that would not, I don't think wipe, but it would do a lot of damage to you. And then the second time we actually died on that third fight, it was because the healer DC'd. So that's only, and then I wiped it once on all the fights except for the last one. Um, last one did we wipe? Yeah, I think we did wipe. I don't know. Well, we're gonna play the footage and see if I wiped twice. But yeah, and well, that's more in the spoiler territory because I'm gonna be showing the raids and stuff like that. But yeah, generally it's kind of weird for me because I'm used to playing through all the raid tiers at once in an expansion, getting the story all through at once. So having this break and understanding that the break is 6 to 7 months is kind of weird to me and kind of not a thing I was expecting to deal with. And seeing it here, I kind of don't like it, but at the same time, I kind of get it because it's content that's meant for an expansion, which is supposed to last like 2 years. So I get it. Um, doesn't mean I can't be pissed at it, but yeah. So generally, I think also non spoiler, the item level is 565, very easy to get to. Even if you didn't do the Mistral's Ballad, either one of those, you'll easily be able to do it. You get 580 drops off this, but the tokens, you only get one of those on each one. Like the first level, the second, third, fourth, so you get 4 drops. It will if you win one, you can't win another in that same set because there's 8, so it allows one person in each party member to get 1 drop. Um, the weapon, I'm pretty sure everyone gets 1 weapon. I don't know when I got it, but it was in my inventory. You get the 580 weapon you'll be able to get after 7 weeks. So that's one way to get a 580 weapon. Otherwise, you can do Heidelin. So oh shit, that was a spoil. Well, I don't think it was the second extreme trial in Endwalker that gives you the 580. Um, Also, the first one gives you all the 580 accessories, but you can't get 580 gear, and the armor and stuff like that. That you can get through this raid. Um, I don't imagine the Alliance raid is gonna be too big on the item level. I could see it being 570, but I don't think it's gonna be really that big either, and that's a month or so away. Um, but yeah, I think that's all I can talk about, non-spoiler wise. But now to get into spoilers, getting into spoilers. Clearly, I'm saying I'm getting into spoilers. So yeah, we're talking about spoilers now. So generally, here, this is the guy. He's right here in the Baldessian Annex. This is where you start the quest. Not really that big of a deal. These guys are scientists right here, that you'll be talking to. They're the guys who assign you the quest. I bet you go back to them because they want you to do some experiment for them or something like that that was put off on hold because of the final days and stuff like that. So then you go off basically, and the dude tells you to go back to Elpis. And then that's when you meet this guy Themis. I'm pretty sure he's a Letibus, and he's basically gonna be Gaia for you, I guess, or Reen, I guess. He's gonna be one of your guides that basically handles the normal raid. So then you're gonna be just walking through, you're just talking a bit, and here you are. Now this area was a screenshot that was shown earlier. This is what it is. This is Pandemonium. It's basically just a secret lab in Elpis where they put all the big bad creatures that they didn't kill but they wanted to keep experimenting on. So that's where they all put in Pandemonium, and the person in charge of this is La Brea. That's why he's like, the screenshot was like him, his mask and shit like that was there. So yeah, so this is Pandemonium. Looks pretty cool aesthetically. um I really like that a lot. The queues were quick. I mean, this was 7 in the morning for me. And yeah, so here's the first fight. So it's actually kind of interesting. The plot explains it as he needs to cast warding to protect us, and because of that he can't fight with us. And to me it's just like he's just too scared to fight, so he's a bitch. Basically, he's just gonna help you, give you some magic. He's gonna help you call your friends, and then your friends are gonna help you actually. So yeah, this fight wasn't bad. I think, like I said, I think we wiped like one time, but I don't really care for that. That's like, it's just mechanics. Like generally, you see this, it's like it's not a bad thing. This is actually the thing that caused us to wipe, not that attack. That attack, he like he telegraphs that attack. You basically see, oh, okay, he's gonna wind up in chain. This is the thing that we wiped on. People couldn't understand. It's basically just like the Dollar where you get like one of the elements, so you get fire over your head. So you have to go to one that has ice. So that's why I was standing on an ice one. And then there's two more, but there's only two here. There's three of these, so you're gonna get like three different colors over your head. You're gonna have to go to a pillar that has this still the right thing. So you see here, we start like wiping and stuff like that. This is the same mechanic. Basically, these guys generally have like 2 or 3 mechanics that like just rotate over and over again, and that's it. I mean, but I thought this guy looked cool. I think it was a good introduction. The first fight really doesn't need to be the big deal, a big deal type thing. It just needs to be a fight, and I think it was pretty competent. It worked well, and it wasn't too bad. I'm gonna try to like avoid story spoilers, just in general, and talk about. I don't want to delve too deep into it. I gave you the high level. I gave you some intro, and that's about it. So this is the second fight. This one I think was more confusing. I completely did not understand it the entire time, if I'm being honest. Um, I didn't really get it until the second time, and it's basically this guy is 2 parts. His head will split off, and it will start. You have to worry about the head because it will come off and shoot you. Your tanks have to be good. Your healers have to be good. You see this water level rising and stuff like that. Just stay on the sleuths, because if you go into the water, you'll take this, damage over time. You see that debuff there with the water that does damage to you if you go in there. Sometimes people are gonna have to go into the water, because you see here you can't just stack on each other. So I'd recommend the tank do that, because mostly the tank can take the damage, and the healer's already going to be healing a tank anyway. Damage isn't bad, but if you get, there are some bad AoE hits, and No, this one was confusing. I think to us in the beginning, what we started to do when you saw those arrows come over your head is we all just stacked on top of each other, and the damage was like nothing. And then here, this is just a simple, backsplash thing. Use arm's length. Sometimes I forgot to use arm's length, and I killed myself on accident. But um, it generally this fight I think is just it comes down to it was a bigger learning curve than the first fight. I think the first fight was more you've seen this before and you can already entertain most of it. So you see the head, it's right there. It was off to the right. It's gonna come down like a bar. You just have to clear out. You see here I didn't, and I got hit by it and it took off a good bit of health. I think it kills most of the DPS if they get caught in it. That's why they were saying tight. Um, so yeah. Oh, I was thinking. I don't know why I was thinking there was a tank buster, but yeah. So basically, I'm bad at the game. But we did this in our second attempt, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. But yeah, here's the third fight. So the third fight, the first time we wiped is it was our fault. We didn't know a mechanic. The second time the healer DC'd, so I'm only gonna count this as we died once. Um, but yeah, so basically this fight, um, I don't know why I keep thinking there's a tank stack where I have to go and stack on it. I think that's another fight I'm confusing. So basically this, let me just go back a bit. So this thing is the Phoenix will create these different fire spears in this 4 pattern. So this is just tank buster. I mean, just move out. I mean, it's pretty obvious. It only goes on tanks, so it won't go on DPS. I know some fights it does go on DPS or healers. This fight it just goes on the tanks, both of them. So just move out. It's pretty basic. But yeah, so when you get to this dark fire thing, I wish I could like pause it without darkening the entire thing. You basically the people will get like a stack here, and what you're supposed to do is all of them are just supposed to sit in the dark fire. And it takes the dark fire. If you don't, the fire will like sit there and blow up. So it's not really a big deal. I'm pretty sure it can kill everyone if all 4 of them are still alive. The max we had was like 1, and that was when we did it the first time. It's just we accidentally all did it except for one person, which is not a big deal. Then he just continues on. I don't think he really does anything too special. Where is it? So this is just, lasers. This is kind of like that prancing fight. We just gotta like kind of just stay out of it. It was in the last Endwalker dungeon. Similar mechanic to that. Yeah. So this is the thing I wanted us to go over. Where is it? Again. So basically, what happens is these ads all spawn. Both tanks need to take 2. So they spawn 2 at a time, and you basically just make sure these circles don't overlap. If they do, you'll blow up. So that's why they're all not overlap. We go in the middle. We're not gonna die. The first time, what happened was they were all in the center, and that was because it was just all in the center. They all just blew up and killed everyone. So all you do is you just take them out. So the tanks actually have to do something in this fight. But yeah, besides that, it was so we died here, but that's because the healer DC'd. But generally, this fight I think was kind of the easiest, even if it seems like it has more mechanics. The first one I think was just like I think the first one was more like stupid. Um, but this one was just like the mechanics were just really basic, and you get this one a lot quicker than most of the other ones, and he doesn't really have something that will like really kill you besides that, the Phoenix ad spawn. But generally, it's like I said, these are normal raids. You're not gonna really have a time struggling with them. And then here's the last fight. This guy is kind of just like, he likes magic and stuff like that, so he's just gonna drop a blanket and reveal something. I honestly don't even I just don't think this guy was really that big of a deal, especially since he was a fourth one, which was kind of weird. I could see all of them on extreme being really hard and being more severe, especially with their mechanics. Of course, that will happen. It's I mean, not extreme savage, but generally he has like this pushback mechanic, and if you push back, obviously the spikes will kill you. So that's a thing. He has these blankets that have these different mechanics too. Um, Throughout the entirety of it, he's gonna have these AOE's where you just have to go into a corner because it's the entire raid. Um, but generally he isn't that bad. Like you'll be able to get like what he's doing. Like you see here with these two different things, they do two different abilities. Um, one's like a diagonal line, one is an AOE. It's one is a poison cloud where you have to scatter. It's not really bad in general. I think this one is the only thing that's confusing. This is where everyone is dead. Um, and I think it's like right here. Where is it? Oh shit! It was like right here. I'm gonna be honest. I still don't even know what the hell this mechanic is. It will pop up where like there's circles and it's like the tank thing, and it's like X through it, healer X through it, deep, and then a sword which is for DPS X through it. And I honestly didn't get it. People figured it out. I mean, I think it just generally means don't stand in there if you're that class. Um, and what happened was I stood in this and killed everyone. So, well, actually, I didn't stand in it. Yeah, I got out of it. Oh, okay. I think the other tank stood in it. Yeah. So generally, I looked at that and I said no. Basically, what happened me in the other tank the next few times, we just didn't go in there, and it worked out fine. Like the healer and the DPS, they took care of it because there's 4 DPS. They can take care of this. Um, like this fight really, I don't know why, but I just generally did not feel impressed with it. Um, but yeah, I mean like I said, it's normal. I think the fights were all cool aesthetically. They all did these like interesting things. Like I still think this mechanic is interesting. Like what he was doing throughout the entire fight. It's like okay, I haven't seen that. That's a cool thing. The Phoenix, you've seen the separate the ad type thing plenty of times. I think honestly the fourth and second boss were really good. I liked the second one the most. I think he was the most challenge came from him. Um, the fourth one I would say is the second best. The Phoenix is the third, and then the first one. Actually, I would flip it. I think the Phoenix is the worst, and the first one is the second best. I mean, the second worst. But generally, I think all these were they were good. But yeah, that's what you get. So killing this clown, you get a trophy. Um, Generally, I looked at it and the experience, when it took. So it took about 2 hours. I started at around 7:30, right? Yeah, just about 2 hours, and I watched all the cutscenes. So it generally I don't think these really are supposed to take that long anyway. Um, so yeah, I mean like I don't really think it's gonna be that really big of a deal. These are normal raids. I think this is just cool experience and cool content to do. Um, but yeah, I mean that's all I have. Just giving a breakdown of my experience, what I thought, showing what happened, and yeah, I mean, let me know if you guys are pumped for this. I think it's cool. I thought it was a really cool experience to do. Doing these raids for the first time with everyone else. You don't know what you're doing, and there's some people who've already cleared it 3 times, and they're gonna be talking to you and stuff like that. Oh, it was the second fight. Yeah, the second fight has a tank buster where both tanks have a stack on it. So I was right about that. But yeah, leave a like and subscribe. Really helps out the channel. Comment which one you thought was the best raid out of this. I think honestly, for the most part, the first raid tier is always, not the best. Generally, the second one is where it really picks up and where there's a lot of good ones. You know, for the Deltascape ones, the Stormblood ones, I think of, you know, Kefka. I thought that was a cool fight. Um, in the Eden's Gate, I actually liked all the Eden's Gate second tier ones. Um, Honestly, the Alexander ones, they all blend together, and I think the third tier is honestly the best one out of Alexander. So yeah, you know, this is just an introductory. They get better. Um, and from what that perspective, I mean, they get, you know, story wise, the story picks up. Um, and gameplay wise, the mechanics get a lot more involved. So yeah, I'm just gonna call it there. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later, and bye.